Well, the Tampa Bay Rays home woes continue as they can't pull it out against the Houston Astros. They gave a shot, but it ultimately didn't work.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
We're here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 7th season covering the Rays daily.
So grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in as we discuss the Rays' recent loss against the Houston Astros by a score of 4-3. The offense just couldn't quite get it done. We have the return of former Ray Isaac Paredes and some other tidbits from the game that we want to get to. But Ulises can't say I'm surprised because it was a unknown lefty on the mound facing the Rays, and that has not been a good formula this year for the most part. It also doesn't help when you very quickly get down 3-0. Like within 2 innings, you're down 3-0. So you have to climb uphill for the remainder of the game, and the Rays aren't necessarily built to do that, but at least they gave a full-hearted effort. They, more or less played to the final out, so that's appreciative. But again, it's kind of the same old story, same old song with this team.
It's going to sound like we're, being a bit repetitive here, but that's what the team is actually doing. They are just short on the offensive production right now. And like you're saying, you get down in the first 2 innings, 3-0. So already that's a big red flag for this offense. But somehow, some way, score 2, you scored 1, you're feeling good, you're tied up. It's going to be the 7th inning. And that tied game lasts less than 3 outs because, Manuel Rodriguez unfortunately left a pitch up, and enough of the strike zone that Myers got it over that short porch, which, my goodness, how is it that every visiting team just has fun with that short porch and the Rays just don't seem to be able to have any fun there? It's kind of weird, Kev, but...
Well, Danny Jansen had a little bit of fun with the short porch with the world's shortest home run at 312 feet to get the Rays on the board. I think that BA joked during the broadcast, like, how many, if any, other ballparks is that a homer? It defied science and physics as to how is a ball only hit 312 feet get out for a dinger. And credit to Danny Jansen, at least he did something, and he is hopefully getting back on track. But it just speaks to the quirkiness of the dimensions, and you would think with the bevy of lefties that the Rays have that they would be able to leverage and capitalize on it, but that has really not been the case all that much, while we've seen other teams coming in from out of state, out of area, using it as their own personal bandbox to some extent.
And so the song and dance is getting old, right? Like, oh, well, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. When? Time is ticking. Home games are slipping away. Now the Rays are 21-26. That also is slipping away. That road to 500 is getting a little bit more difficult if you keep losing and not doing a lot of winning, Kev. So it's very worrisome right now because – and again, repetitive, but they don't look. They feel a little bit different in the excitement level, like you were saying yesterday. This 2025 team, but results-wise, they are the same type of team. Underperforming offensively. The pitching, not stable enough for what we thought coming in. The starting rotation nor the bullpen has wowed us as we thought they would. The bullpen has been okay. We thought it was going to be great. The rotation, we thought it was going to be great. It's been okay. The hitting, we thought it would be meh. It's been So like, it's not been a
He's an
fun
EKG.
year. Yeah, it's exactly. It's so. What is there to hope? Ha-Seong Kim. Okay. Shane McClanahan. Okay. Will this
Jake Mangum, our Lord and Savior, Jake Mangum, to add some spunk to this lineup. At least he'll battle and bob and weave through an at bat to make something happen. Hopefully,
I will say though, like joking aside, I cannot wait to see Jake Mangum and Chandler Simpson at the same time, back to back. I know Kloski didn't like that idea, but I do. I would pay money, literally, to see Mangum and Simpson go back to back. I don't care if you do 9-1, 1-9, whatever you want. But
put it in the comments. Should Jake Mangum and Chandler Simpson hit back to back? So you wanted Chandler Simpson first, and then Mangum after that, vice versa, or it really doesn't matter to you as long as they're back to back?
I think I would like Simpson 9th, so that Jake Mangum is behind him. Jake doesn't have that much pop, but he will make contact, and I wouldn't be afraid of like tying Chandler's hands by, you can't steal right here with Mangum. Like, no, steal with Mangum in there, and he is more apt to do a little hit and run action with Chandler on the bases. I think that would be very entertaining baseball. And if I know it's May 20th and there's plenty of baseball left, but let's have that conversation for the first time.
Yeah.
If this season is not a playoff season, can we at least as fans get a fun product like on the field, as in like, I do want to see hit and runs with Jake Mangum and Chandler Simpson. I do want to see Chandler go nuts. I want to see what Cameron Meisner has to do, has to offer. I want
to see bunts being popped out in the 9th inning.
Oh, let's get to that.
Somebody on third base.
Let's get to that. But first, Kevin, I think we need to tell people something very important.
Yes, we do. We've got much more to discuss on that and the game in general. I also may have a solution to the offensive woes, a little bit tongue-in-cheek here, but I'll get to it. First, we have to tell the audience something very important. Like Ulises said, next on the Locked On Rays podcast, your team every day.
Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, it's easy to lose track. And that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. It takes less than 5 minutes to get started, and it's a complete look at your financial well-being. It manages your money. You can start building wealth. It's fantastic. It gives you everything. It's not just a budgeting app. And today, you can get started and take control of your finances with Monarch Money using code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's right. Using code LOCKEDONMLB gets you 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. Again, monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year.
All right, Ulises, go off on your boy, Taylor Walls.
I mean,
I had one job.
You have one job, man. You have one job. By the way, if you were wondering, since Taylor Walls came into Major League Baseball, how is he doing offensively? Well, I'll tell you something, folks. Not that great. Because if you take MLB hitters from 2021, which is when he debuted, till 2025, and these players have 1,000 plate appearances or more, at least 1,000 plate appearances, Taylor Walls is 4th worst in WRC plus in that time span. 4th worst. You know who's worse than him? Martin Maldonado, Austin Hedges. Okay? Like, that's the level we're talking about. And if you want to go a little bit more traditional stats and batting average, also 4th worst in that same time span.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking with Kloski on Twitter about it, where I was, and he's just saying he's too elite. He's the best fielder right now, according to DRS. And that's fine. But there's something that you and I have always talked about on this podcast. Overall value. Overall value is what matters. It should be what matters. If you're really good at something and you're really horrible at something, guess what? You're meh. It washes out. And it's really incredible that the baseball gods or the Stein curse, the Yankee curse, or whatever you want, is making Taylor Walls appear in every single game with men in scoring position. It is nuts.
Key situations.
And yesterday, the bunt in the 9th inning, pops it up. Dude, my man, you're a guy that should know how to bunt. You're the one guy on this team that should be practicing bunting every time. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Since we were all youngins, 4 years old, 5 years old, one of the first things I remember was learning from my dad is like, hey, fastball up. You don't want to bunt that.
Right.
Don't want to bunt that. Real hard to get to get it down. We all know that, and that's exactly what happened in the 9th inning.
What has me concerned, because correct me if I'm wrong, but Josh Hader was on the mound.
Yes.
Okay, so the Rays, really, I think their key opportunity to score will be against whoever the starting pitcher is, because the Astros bullpen presently is best in all of baseball as far as ERA goes. I think they're tied with the Giants for top ERA, best ERA, and they have a bevy of lefties. And the grand lefty of them all, Josh Hader, who Hall of Fame, I don't know. I guess he's probably got to do a little bit more proving. He's got another half dozen years of current performance to keep it up. But it's like once Houston gets to the bullpen, it's pretty much good night nurse at that point if you're the Rays. I just don't see how they would be able to come back from much of a deficit when they go to that pin of theirs. And, it got me thinking, because the Rays are playing the Astros, and we saw our old buddy in a Houston uniform, Isaac Paredes. So my solution, tongue-in-cheek, was to take a time machine, go back, do over that trade, nix that trade, so you could have Isaac Paredes on the Rays roster, which, by the way, Paredes, I think the second best hitter on the Astros team right now. He'd be the best hitter on the Rays team right now. He's got 7 homers, 24 RBI, 265 average, 375 on base, 810 OPS. And I know that some people have said that, he would not be able to do anything at Steinbrenner Field. Well, let's see it. I'd at least like to get the shot. And I would venture to guess he would do better than Chris Morel offensively. And credit to Morel for an amazing catch last night, and he's made some amazing plays here and there. But I would be willing to bet my bottom dollar that Paredes would have much better numbers than Chris Morel at this juncture in a Rays uniform. And let's also remember, half your games are away from the Stein, so that would also be an opportunity to do some damage as well.
Also, again, 2 for 4 yesterday. So, okay, didn't get any homers, but he got a hit, didn't he? Also, his OPS, 810, would be the best from the starting lineup yesterday. Only Aranda would be better than him. And average-wise, Josh Lowe, who has very limited at-bats, would be better than him. Chandler Simpson, again, also maybe limited at-bats, and Aranda. That's it. He would be the most complete offensive player that the Rays have. And again,
former All-Star, by the way, and 30 home run man.
I don't understand how many players have the Rays had in their history that are perennial 30-plus home run hitters, and you're just gonna let that baby go? Just go, get away from here, because we got Junior Caballero. It's not like Isaac Paredes was just a one-position guy. No, he played third, he played second, he played first. He even had a game at shortstop for the Rays. Right. Okay, and he played the corner outfield in Mexico too.
Yeah, and the idea was, okay, we can't keep Paredes because we have this budding third base prospect in Junior Caballero, but I'm not that convinced that Junior Caballero can be a third baseman long term. He's going to have to move to DH or move to first base, or more likely DH. So
we're acting like
Junior
you're acting like Junior was Manny Machado. Did we ever hear Junior Caballero's defense was Manny Machado-esque, Evan Longoria-esque? No. Why did we treat him like that? Because he had pop?
Yeah. It's crazy to think. So let's just hope that Junior improves his defense first of all, but Hunter Biggie can come back from the injured list, and the other prospect that was in the deal, Ty Johnson, turns out to be something. But it's still a head scratcher to this day, and it's still too early to say, whether the Rays won or lost. But I'm just saying, from present moment, I would like to have that production in my back pocket, and maybe the Rays aren't 5 games under 500. Who knows? But yeah, that's what we got. I will also note, I know we are going to be releasing this episode as the game starts, Tuesday's game, but it is somebody named Brandon Walter going up against Zack Littell. And this is what has me concerned. Again, an unknown lefty who hasn't pitched in the big since 2023, put up disastrous numbers when he was in the bigs. This has Shuddy written all over it.
This has 6-inning no-hitter alerts written all over it. And you know what? We're putting it out here. If he gets mushed, good. You did exactly what you needed to do, and we'll eat dirt.
Yeah.
If you don't, well, it wasn't that much of a difficult green skittle situation here. They've been just very underwhelming with against lefties, man. Mm-hmm. Very underwhelming. And I get it. You gotta get your main guys producing, and Yandy Diaz and a 698 OPS. That ain't it. Brandon Lau.
I think we're starting to see a little bit more improvements from Yandy as far as hitting the ball the other way, but it has to be a continual thing for sure.
Again, they're hitting just auxiliary parts. Right. 698 OPS for Yandy. Brennan Lau, 632. Caminero, 677. Morel, 622. When are we going to have a real conversation about Christopher Morel? Because what is he doing for this team right now in present time? Yes, he did a
leaping catches. He's our left fielding version of Taylor Walls.
How many of those can you get? My God. No, I mean, he came in, okay, this guy's got pop. Well, it hasn't worked out for almost a season now.
Well,
4 months, whatever.
What spots are you going to have to give up? If Kim is healthy, if Mangum is healthy, Richie Palacios, so something's got to give. Who is going to get the boot at that point? We can't expend the roster to 32 people. So
no. So I mean, Christopher Morel is I think his days are counted when these guys start getting healthy. I think Taylor Walls' days are getting rather short here, because I'd rather have Caballero on the roster than Taylor Walls.
Yeah.
I mean, more positional flexibility and everything. So I don't know. It's going to be tough to make those decisions. I get it, but they have to be made when these guys start getting healthy.
100%. Now, so Brandon Walter, who the Rays will probably get shut out against or get 2 hits and 1 run maybe, going up against Zack Littell. So Zack Littell will have to be at his top form, and that is what he has done the month of May. He's had a very strong 3.10 ERA. His last 3 outings this month, 7 innings, 6 innings, and 7 1/3. This came after a very poor April showing, so maybe there is hope for Shane Baz, where you have a bad month and you can come back with a good month. So Zack Littell has been Mr. Stability, at least for the month of May. And I went back and watched some highlights and clips of his. And, well, one thing is always consistent with him is the pitch mix and keeping hitters on their toes, even though he doesn't have amazing stuff. And he doesn't put himself into jams, i.e., walking the leadoff guy or getting the bases loaded on walks. He is actually keeping things in control a little bit. But if you look, what has allowed him to be successful this past month have been sinkers and splitters at the bottom of the zone, four seamers top of the zone, sliders to lefties, and he's hitting his spots. If you look where the catcher puts his glove, Littell is more or less able to execute. So even a guy with, not overpowering stuff, he still finds a way to be successful, and hopefully he's able to keep it up tonight against Houston.
And he makes the defense play, man. So, that's why you have, again, to say something positive, that's why you have Taylor Walls at short. And we're trying out today something new. Jose Caballero playing center field for the Tampa Bay Rays. So we'll see how that goes. He's been fun watching him in the corner outfield. I mean, he's just a fun player. We'll hopefully. I mean, by the way, Jose Caballero quietly hitting a 260 clip and a 718 OPS.
Yeah, I think that's him though. He just he does it under the radar, where you look and his final line will be solid. Again, he will not light the world on fire necessarily, but I think that could be his career norm of a 260 hitter with a handful of home runs and getting some clutch hits every now and again. So hopefully that continues. We could be in for an adventure in center field. I don't know how much experience he has there, but he seems to be okay moving around, and they want to try something new. So we'll see how it goes.
It's unfortunately because Meissner is just hitting that big negative drought at the plate, and another lefty. So you're like, you know what? Right now, let's even try it out with Caballero up in center field. Let's see how that goes. If it goes well,
look, I mean, this team's not going to the playoffs at current juncture.
Really
I mean, you would probably have to. I don't even know if I can make a convincing argument for them to be 500.
Exactly, and I
so you might as well just let's see if this guy can play center. Let's give it a shot.
Johnny DeLuca is a name that we haven't talked about too much, and he's coming back. A lot of guys hurt in the outfield. That's why you're seeing a lot of Taylor Walls lately. But
I think it's why we've made some complaints about. I think it was several weeks ago where Aranda's out of the order and Taylor Walls is high up in the order, and then sometimes you go and look at who are they facing pitching wise, and it's some stud on the mound. It's like, we're not winning this game anyway, so might as well let Jonathan Aranda rest because he can't carry the team on his back.
I forget. I think it was yesterday's game, wasn't it? Aranda wasn't in the lineup, in the starting lineup because of a lefty, right? And then he comes against and pinch hits against a lefty. What are we doing, folks? I know there's more information than lefty versus lefty. There's swing paths. There's the pitch action. Like, how do they match up? Maybe he's not a fastball hitter. He's not a curveball. What? I know there are more quantities for that. But maybe you're overthinking it a little bit, and your best hitter should be in the bleeping starting lineup because whoever you're putting in there is not going to be good.
Yeah.
It's not. They're not producing right now.
Yeah, it's a shame. So today and tomorrow, are the Rays able to get one win out of that group? Or are they going to get swept by the Astros?
It's going to be tough to get a W. I'm going to be quite honest. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being extremely confident, 1 being not confident in the very least, the Rays can finish the year. I know it's still very early, but finish the year with a 500 record at least. Or no, just say 80 wins. I don't need the 81. Just 80 wins. Can they get to 80 wins this year?
I would, 10 being confident that they're going to get 80 wins, I would say 3.78.
Okay.
You?
Probably about the same, maybe a tick lower. So this team could be worse than last year's team. Last year's team went 80 and 82.
But more exciting.
Sure.
Well, actually, instead of more exciting, we should say, but with Tim
There were different players. Yeah. I mean, there was Randy on the roster and Paredes on the roster. So, and Springs on the roster. I mean, we had that going for us, but beyond that, I don't know. So hopefully they can turn things around. We will see. In the meantime, Thank you for making Locked On Rays your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on the YouTubes or wherever you listen to